I wonder what the fuck the real dialogue is. What the fuck is this thing? All of the windshield, for fuck's sake. Oh, fuck. What the fuck did I say? That didn't sound for shit, did it? And here, under the hood, we've stored something that'll really come in handy if it doesn't fall out and break my leg. Ah! What we're doing is we're building a fucking industrial film, trying to give these guys everything they can get. I mean, that's it. Fuck it. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. We suppose we open... Got to do it again, right now. Oh, fuck. 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 Oh, fuck. Shit. Tony, do me a favor, will you please? Will you? Will you do me a kindness? Leave. Yeah.
I think I want to be walking in and out if you're going to fuck up and I got to come back.
I don't make any difference to me at this juncture. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Tony. Don't slam the fucking door. No more. Listen, I've got to give a clue here now. I don't want any more bullshit anytime during the day from anyone. That includes me. It's going to be very hot. It's going to be very uncomfortable for everybody. Want anybody yelling. We get anybody yelling around here anymore today, and then the shit is going to hit the fan. And they fit the diverse needs of a very big firm, and they fit the needs of a very diverse buyer segment. Why can't I remember? I wrote this stuff. Why can't I remember it? Why don't I say it fucking right? What does the goddamn line say, Tony? What is the goddamn line? I don't give a shit what the line is. I fucked up the word rear. I can't even read the fucking VO straight. What the fuck was that? We got flies all over the fucking place. Son of a bitch. Get out of here, you fucking flies. There's a fly over the headlight, Tony. We got flies coming for us. Fuck. Fuck out of here, you flies. We got 3 flies, 5 flies. And if you will, make sure, if you will, we don't have that fly on the left side, on the passenger side, because we don't have that in frame, but make sure we don't have any flies here. And we don't have any flies. Here we go. Get out of here, you goddamn jackass. I gotta read it again because my mind is just a piece of shit this morning. God, I can't fucking make my mind work. Tony, give me a towel for just a minute, please. That... I'm blinded by that fucking hot light. Goddamn son of a bitch! What do you mean, I'm gonna fall off the fucking thing? Fuck. Just keep running. Bullshit. I'm gonna slate this fucker. All right, I haven't got time to mark this motherfucker. Here we go again. We can't hear anybody. Nobody can talk to anybody.
Still speeding.
Well, turn the fucking thing off, you dumbass. And I'd like to kick your fucking head in. Meet innovation. Money. Fuck. Not even funny anymore. Son of a bitch! Jesus Christ. Fuck! Shit. Son of a bitch. Jesus Christ. Fuck. Shit. Son of a bitch. Jesus Christ. Oh, fuck. Shit. Son of a bitch. Jesus Christ. Fuck off! What the hell's the line? Shit! What the fuck is it? Can't remember the goddamn line. The accoutrement that you will need. Accoutrement? What is that shit? I don't know, shit. It's just all gone. I get so goddamn diuretic when I sit here, and my mouth just never stops. For 1989, each individual storage compartment has this controlled light that you can put up your fern if you want to. How's that? What shot is it? Oh, shit. What did I do? Did I walk through it? It's going to be very helpful in keeping you from falling down, you big dumb son of a bitch. You're disturbing what's left of my brain. Yeah, but my mind is such shit. To say nothing of the flies in my head. Got a fly in my mouth and every fucking other thing happens. If I knew what the rest of the line was, then I would be in good shape. It's amazing how I just babble. Uh-oh. I guess my mind is going again.
My body is dismembered.
There's no words there. There's no words on it.
Fuck it.
Well, do it live.
Fuck it.
I've never seen that. Fucking thing sucks. There's no words there. Okay, ready? Take it away. Go, go. Yeah. Go, go. Yeah. Go, go. Yeah. Fuck it. Well, do it live. Fuck it. Go, go. What does that mean? To play us out? To end the show? Yeah.
What is up, everybody? We are back for a show in 2024. I'm happy to be back with you guys. Thanks for chilling as we took a 30-day break and didn't do much in the month of January. But yeah, we're back. Happy to be back. Happy to have all you guys here tonight on the show. I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to talk about I know we're late to it, but 2023 year in review, and we're going to kind of go through our year in review over at Dark Horse, specifically the growing facility in Denver. And I know there's a lot of people probably who watch this show who maybe haven't really picked up on it or did pick up on it, but from locally from the Denver region, who are kind of wondering what happened to Dark Horse flour. It's not on the shelves as of late. And yeah, we haven't really been on a shelf for probably over 6 months. And we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight. But before I do that, I have to do my favorite segment of the show. Well, here we go. John Deere. John Deere is the dipshit of the week, or dipshit of the day, dipshit of the year as we start this year off. But yeah, I'm giving John Deere dipshit of the day this week. And why, you ask? It's kind of ridiculous, but I'm happy to show you. Jay Plant Speaker. Jay Plant Speaker, really good dude. A lot of people obviously know who Jay Plant Speaker is, but what people don't know, and I haven't actually spoken to him myself yet, but I saw a post about it and it just floored me a little bit. But Jay the Plant Speaker has been going with, or through something with John Deere where they decided to essentially sue him or block his, try to copyright infringement him for using the logo that he uses. On your screen on the bottom is Jay Plant Speaker's logo, and on the top is John Deere. And John Deere said that that deer on his logo is infringing on their trademark and basically went after him. This is something I have experience with. I've been, received letters of cease and desist from people like Hershey's, for Lemon Twizzler, Gorilla Glue from Gorilla Glue. Yeah, I've been through this a bunch, but this one I found to be absolutely hilarious. It's not hilarious for Jay, and props to Jay for fighting this because it took over 3 years. He hasn't said how much money, but I'm sure a fuck ton of money to maintain his basically trademark, copyright, fight John Deere, a huge company. But yeah, I see absolutely no resemblance. I think it's funny that John Deere thinks that, they own the deer, and in any logo, John Deere is kind of like on it. But yeah, I don't know. What's your guys' thoughts on John Deere logo versus Jay Plant Speaker logo, and why the fuck would John Deere have a problem with what Jay Plant Speaker's logo looks like? But there you have it. There's your dipshit of the day, John Deere. Fucking crazy, right? Anyway, let's do free shit, which we haven't done in a long time. I'm happy to announce that I'm basically entirely caught up on all free shit. And like I say, after taking a little break or hiatus, everything should be totally caught up. If you should have won some free shit on the show, now would be a great time to send an email at darkhorsegeneticslive@gmail.com and let us know if we fuck something up. But yeah, we should be caught up. I'm happy to do free shit right now. And I actually have a big bag of Sin City seeds that I'm just going to pick one at random for you guys. And we'll do it email style. Let's see. We are looking at Ice Cream Banana. This is nice. Ice Cream Banana, Sin City Seeds. This is Banana OG to Blue Power. I'm not sure how many seeds are in here, but it looks like at least 12 maybe. But yeah, anyway, it's free shit.
It's free!
All right, everybody, if you want to win this pack, Sin City Seeds, Ice Cream Banana, you have to send an email to the email on your screen right down there, darkhorsegeneticslive@gmail.com, and I will pick the 105th person. 105th person. And you will win this pack. I'll send it out to you. Good luck, everybody. Happy to do free shit for y'all. And I want to do free shit much more regularly as we go through this coming up this year. All right. So, as I said, tonight's show is going to be a little bit different. I'm probably going to be one of these rants and raves. So you guys, some of you guys like it, some of you guys hate it. But I basically have a rant, and it's about my entire year of 2023. And it's something I kind of just want to go through. As I said, I know we're late to the party on year in reviews, but I want to start off with, let's go all the way back to January of 2023. The first week of every year, and again, I'm speaking specifically as a Denver licensed facility and basically all of this stuff. It doesn't really pertain to the breeding projects and some of the collabs we've done and some of the, like I say, the home grow stuff or any of the other outside of the facility kind of fun things we've done. But as it relates to the industry specifically, the first week in January is always a motherfucker. And it's always a motherfucker because obviously you get through Christmas, New Year's, all that other shit, everyone's broke. But as you get into the new year, the city of Denver, and I'm not sure entirely if every license is like this or it's just me, but the city of Denver has decided that all your licenses are going to be due at the same time. Now, in the past, I've done this for many, many years, over a decade. Your licenses would renew at whatever date they renewed. So you'd have 4 times a year, 5 times a year, something like that. You'd have to go through and renew these licenses all the time. But it was a little easier because you can kind of afford a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 license hit, absorb them all throughout the year. But some genius at the city of Denver decided that they should have all the licenses be due on the exact same day at the exact same time. So they started post-dating or pro-rating kind of your license so that it would all end on January 6th. So within the first week of the new year, every year, we have to come up with at least $20,000 to renew 4 licenses at the city of Denver alone. And at the same time, you got your year-end taxes, you got your 1099s being cut, you got all that stuff going out. And also, in our properties, and most cannabis properties will understand this, is you also have your triple net lease property tax due, which is generally you pay them quarterly. But property taxes in this city went through the motherfucking roof, like three times, almost quadrupled. So, and I'll just say the numbers. In our instance, we owe over $18,000 in property tax due that week alone. So when you start thinking about the first week of your year, every year, you better have 50,000 fucking bucks, something like that, just set aside to cover your payrolls, your rents, your license fees, absorb all that shit or whatever. But it's extremely difficult to absorb the first of the year every single time. So when I get to Christmas time and everything else, it's like, trust me, we see it, we forecast for it, we budget it, we try to do the best that we can. But when we get into January and I get into January, my bank accounts go from having a little coin in there to just absolutely depleted to start the year. Every single year, it's like playing from behind the 8 ball because you have to fork over a fuck ton of money. And oh, by the way, that's only the city of Denver. That's not the state of Colorado, which you'll have to renew 4 different times throughout the year. I say 4 because I have 4 different licenses. But that's how the year starts every single fucking year. And, this is the cost of doing business. This is what it is. I can't complain too much about it. Other people have crazier license fees. For us, it's interesting to me that the license fees have remained the exact same from the day that this started, when pounds were selling for upwards of like $4,800 a pound. But now pounds are selling for like 5, 6, 7, 800, whatever. Really low, my point. And the license fees have never been adjusted. They're the exact same price. So you've got to sell, what you used to sell like equivalent of 1 pound a pot is now like 10 pounds a pot to cover your license fee. So it's just like, look at it like that. I mean, it's interesting. You'd think that the license fees would come down as the prices came down, as the profitability came down, but obviously that's not how this industry works. But as we move into February and March, I kind of want to talk about our flower and our garden. And when I talk about, people generally don't talk about this shit publicly, their struggles or issues that they may have. But we started to have issues that I could identify early as February and March of last year, 2023, in our garden when I was walking through or looking at plants. I mean, it was clear as day. But we started seeing, well, basically one of the first indications was the plants weren't flushing. So we didn't get a white ash when we were smoking our flower. And trust me, I've run an identical setup for over a decade. I mean, I've run the same nutrients, the same pot size, the same drip irrigation, it's dialed in. So when I say it's dialed in, I mean you shouldn't really see anomalies too much. It's like it should kind of just consistently hit what you know it's going to hit. But as we get into February, March, and I start seeing the flower, I'm like, this tastes funky. Like, why does this taste funky? I'm like, this literally doesn't flush right. We should get a nice clean white ash. We're not getting clean white ash. And then as I kind of look deeper, I start to see plants that are kind of paling out and yellowing, and some of our plants are dying before they can even get to harvest. And like right in the middle of a drip irrigation tray, you just see one plant just like wilt to death and fall over and just be pissed as shit and be like, what the fuck's going on with that? And then you start seeing them, just sort of spotting them out in the grow. And you're like, what the like, this is something with all of my experience. I'm happy to admit I was stumped. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. And as I started to go through it, we identified essentially what we're looking at here is a bad uptake, bad, we're not the at the root level, we have a major problem. And that's where it started to get me to think, like, what's going on here? But simultaneously, for the first time ever in my life, we started failing for heavy metals on our product. So when we send it off for testing, we get a result back with heavy metals, and I'm going, what? Like arsenic? Arsenic in the cannabis? Like, now granted, I know that that's possible, but once you use organics and some of these other things, heavy metals are clearly possible. But we have never had a heavy metal issue for as long as I've been growing. And my point to this is, it wasn't necessarily our method as much as it was the virus or the disease that crept into our facility. And the disease that I'm speaking about, or virus that I'm speaking about, is specifically Fusarium and Pythium, and seeing the issues that it kind of takes with the plant, which this will lead into HLVD, which I'm happy to speak about. But the Fusarium was something that I did not identify, and it took me for a loop all my years of experience. And then as we started cutting open root balls and seeing inside the xylostem, meaning the hollow part of the stalk, cut them and slice them with a razor blade and look inside, and you see browning and sludgy and mushy. And you're going, what the fuck is this? So that really started to affect our crops in a serious way. But our flower got to a point where I did not like the flower. And I do this because I care passionately about cannabis flower, about the way that it tastes, the way, it's got to be clean when it's consumed. But at the same time, I'm a guy who cares more about flavor than anything else above board at all. I know many of the people in the industry care about looks, THC, high THC yield. Everything's got to look like Oreos now, just completely covered in trikes, whatever. I get it. I don't give a fuck about any of that shit. I just care about fucking flavor. Give me flavor, give me dank. And when my cannabis doesn't seem to be flavor or dank for me, I'm like, there's a major issue. And I have enough experience in this industry and in life to know when I have a problem, like something's off here. So this was a major red flag for us. But as I said, the garden essentially almost couldn't even finish itself. And this started going, didn't matter the strain, it started kind of happening garden-wise, or whole warehouse-wide. And I was like, oh, this is a real fucking problem. How are we going to address this? How are we going to beat this? And I'll say straight up, I didn't identify it, actually. We had J-Lo. We had J-Lo come in, shout out Treat Show. But J-Lo was kind of the one saying, this is Pythium, and you have this. And I'm going, bullshit, I don't want to hear it. This is Pythium, you have it. And I'm like, I don't want to hear it. I'm like, so through many adjustments and tweaks that we started doing at this time, there was another side issue that happened in our facility. One that, again, nobody will probably ever talk about publicly on a podcast, but we had an employee use the wrong pesticide. He's a friend of mine that goes way back. I'm not going to drop any names, but he used the wrong pesticide. He's actually kind of duped by a label. A lot of these pesticides lie, but he didn't double check it against the list and used the pesticide that he wasn't allowed to. The first time in the history of my entire life, we got a report back in about, it was more like April, somewhere in the April area. We got a report back that we have a pesticide failure. And I'm going, what the fuck? First of all, we don't even use pesticides. For the most part, we don't hardly use any pesticides at all. If we have a serious problem, we may need to treat it with something every here and there. But I'm talking about in our facility in Denver, Colorado, we literally don't use pesticides if we don't have to, because I want that high quality cannabis. And I don't want that flavor, or I don't want anything to fuck up our cannabis. But again, failing for a pesticide was something that I took incredibly serious, because I was like, holy shit, like this is a big deal. I run a perpetual harvest. And when the failure kind of starts in the propagation room and it trickles its way through the entire facility, you're looking at a massive fucking problem. Not only do we have this Pythian problem, not only do we have this, Fusarium problem, we have this, HLVD potential problem. All of a sudden now we've got another problem where the cannabis that we are growing in every single room, because it came from the propagation room, is most likely tainted. And as we test through this, we would see a decrease in the pesticide round by round, but at the same time, we had to wipe the entire facility. I mean, when I mean wipe, I mean you cut the entire facility, because you're looking at over 4 months where that pesticide will be at an active level that you'll fail. So now you're looking at a facility that, I'll be blunt, these rooms to us, which I'm one of the smallest facilities in this entire state, but these rooms to us, which are 15 liters roughly, I mean, we're getting 15 pounds a pot, high quality, high end pot on these rooms, but we're selling them for, a decent price point because we're so boutique. But these rooms can cost me, anywhere for $25,000 to lose every time one goes down. So you have a pesticide failure with 4 flower rooms or 5 flower rooms, you're looking at a $125,000 loss immediately. Not to mention the coverage that you got to cover to keep employees, staff, to relaunch your entire grow. It's fucking devastating. And trust me, I've reset a perpetual many times in my life for one reason or another, and they're never fun. But when you really start getting into a lean market and issues that moving forward, pound prices falling, like everything kind of getting upside down where you can't make it make sense on a calculator, and then you have a devastating situation where you have to basically wipe your entire garden and start fresh. You know what I mean? And I'll say, like, the employee, I love him, but he made a massive mistake, a $150,000 mistake, really, if you want to talk about it. And you have to be let go at that point. So we move on from there. And that's really when we bring in JLo after that point. I'm like, we're really fucked. I'm like, JLo, help with this situation, identifying this. And at the same time that this happens, we start cleaning up our product. Not even cleaning up. We start essentially testing everything that's in the facility, because when you have a pesticide failure, you can't move your flower product anywhere. You're pretty fucked with it, and that I understand that completely. So you're like, all right, well, let's do nursery clone business. Let's do other businesses that we can do. We'll ramp up our seeds. We'll do our clones. I know how to pivot better than anybody in this motherfucking business. I swear to God, I was built for this shit. So first of all, I wasn't terrified, but I just knew it's time to fucking bootstrap up and let's get this thing back on track as quickly as possible. So I was like, all right, well, HLVD is now the boogeyman that's sweeping 2023. Everyone's scared about it. And, all the clones are dirty all over the fucking place. And some of the more, vetted clone vendors are out here showing you their clean lists and everything. And I'm going, I don't really know where we sit with this. And to be honest, I was scared to look. After the year that I've had, for the first 6 months that I've had, one devastation after the next in this legal, small little facility, I'm going, Jesus, what next? But you can't ignore a problem and act like it's going to get better in any way. And I wasn't willing to sell clones to people if I thought that there was a chance that we would be furthering this truly epidemic of a problem with HLVD. So I was like, all right, let's fucking test it. Shout out to Toomey, who had come on the show, really educated, Dr. Tassa really educated me on HLVD. Shout out to JLo, who helped me a ton through this process. But as we didn't talk about it too much, but Toomey and Dr. Tassa made us beta partners, because she's here in Colorado, we're here in Colorado, we have this facility. She came up with the Toomey Glow, which is an at-home or in-facility testing device where you can kind of get your results within like an hour. And we were her beta partner testers on this to essentially see if her at-home machine worked as well as her PCR machine at the lab. And we did different concoctions of serum that kind of comes in your vial to make sure the testing comes out right. But that's all her work. I'm not going to take any credit of that. But she was able to come in, test our entire facility multiple times. And we're talking something that would be $10, $20 a test. And we have 60, 70 strains that we've introduced back in the facility. And we're testing all of this. And I'm going to be real with you. We had about a 75% failure rate. It is fucking devastating. Some of my favorite fucking strains. Some of the shit, I'm talking Skittles and Banners. And I was just like, oh, fuck, like, we'll never be able to use these again. Like, I will never be able to use this shit again. I shouldn't even ethically be able to breed these. And most people will probably not tell you that's what the results that they got from when they dug deep into their library and found what they found. And I was fucking floored. I was like 75 fucking %. And I remember the day that we went in there and I was like, I have a pair of fucking scissors in my hand, and I'm going to cut everything on this list that has a red fucking mark next to it. And I went through that facility, and we cut everything down that had HLVD to move forward, except for some of the truly rare treasured ones. We brought them out of the facility in the sense of like a snip to kind of clean up in a way or whatever. And that is a whole other process that truly is being pioneered right now. But I don't want to get into super detail. I think it's more of a show for J-Lo to talk about, because J-Lo, had a theory in this, and it kind of turned out to be true, where when we were able to take our infected plants and put them in a different environment and then really coddle them and be able to get the new growth to kind of shoot out and only clone the new growth, not tissue culture, not micropropagation, but only really the new shoots. And with the ability, I know that most people either won't believe or can't do this, but with the ability to test everything. We could test every top of every plant with Tassa and Dr. Tassa and Toomey Glow. So we could test everything. We could test the roots. We could test the tissues of every single surface that we were about to clone. And we could test before to see if it's present in here, because we know HLVD moves throughout the plant. So we were able to find sections of the plant that didn't have it and clone that, and then clone out of that, and then clone out of that 2-3 times. And I'm happy to say with full confidence that it took us a little over 6 months, I would say. We just did another test round of a shit ton of genetics that we brought back basically into our library after going through this testing procedure process. And we had 2 strains out of 70 something come up with HLVD present in it and removed them from the facility. And I'm like, we have a totally clean fucking facility. It was a nightmare of a process to go through. But it means so much to us. And at the same time, we're able to clean up this Fusarium. And I'll talk about that a little bit in a way where, with the heavy metal failures that we came across, it was really like devastating to me, because I didn't know the answer, but the answer was something that I didn't want to do. And I am a person who resists change. I used to cry in between grade changes of 2nd, 3rd grade, 3rd and 4th, 4th and 5th. Like, I didn't want a new teacher. I never wanted shit to change. I don't like change. So I've been running the same shit forever. But as we got into these issues, again, J-Lo kind of came in with the treat and was saying, the way to get rid of this is to grow sterile and start using H2O2, go to the Rockwell cubes, run a cocoa mix, run a salt mix, get away from your organic mix, get away from your soil mix, run this sterile, and you will defeat all of the Fusarium issues that you're having, and you'll have a clean product, no heavy metal issues, anything along those lines. I was very resistant to doing it, because I am an organic guy, and I'm like, I know I like my soil inputs, and but I did what we need to do in that facility in particular to keep that facility going, because you're looking at a spot where you're 4, 5, 6 months into virtually no revenue. There is nothing happening there that you can do. You have one failure after the next failure after the next failure, one issue after the next issue after the next issue, and there's no revenue coming in. Oh, by the way, you've got to maintain these $20,000 monthly overheads at all times and keep your payroll going. And it's like, it's very fucking stressful. And all you want to do is fix it quickly, as quick as you possibly can. But cannabis there isn't quick fixes in cannabis. I think we all know this, but when you have a problem, you can fix it. It's not going to fix the old affected, fucked up growth. The new growth will come out of that looking great. And it's hard sometimes to do everything right and sit and wait, especially when you're under pressure. So as we get through, this issue, switch our growing technique largely onto what I would call the treat method, because she educated me and my staff tremendously about the use of cocoa, salts, H2O2, and tips and tricks of kind of how to defeat this, and really how to identify. That woman can spot HLVD with her eyes. I mean, I know that's bullshit, and most of you people are like, well, shut the fuck up. But I'm telling you, like, with experience, with dealing with this day in and day out for a while, and really digging in and dialing in on what the fuck's happening here, and truly caring about plant health, we were able to really kind of get in here and, kind of perform what I would consider something that I didn't think would happen, almost a miracle, in the sense of, like, we do have Skittles back. I mean, I know there's other Skittles sources to get, but we do have Skittles back testing totally clean. We do have all the banners testing totally clean, the Juliets. like some of the most prized possessions, the conjugal visits, the roid rages, some of the long-held males that we had. So it's like, okay, now in a much more comfortable position or place to be at. But yeah, that was, right around May, June. And as you get into July, this is something that probably, it doesn't apply to a lot of people here, but I have a landlord from hell at our facility, and he's not necessarily, I mean, we don't communicate that. I've literally paid this man over $1 million to be in this facility for over like 12, 13 years. Like, I've been in here forever, for a long fucking time. At one point, I was dealing with a property manager, then I was dealing with the owner himself, then the owner's son graduated college, and now I have to take guff from a 20-year-old lippy kid sometimes, and I'm just like, but they try to hit me with, oh, we didn't charge you the correct property taxes going back for the last 3 years. You owe $18,000. And this is in July, you know what I mean? And I'm going in a year where I'm still yet to really get my flower back on point, where we can kind of put it in the store where I'm proud of it. And we're working through the issues. But I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, it never stops. It never, ever stops. And this is not a detraction for anyone who's interested in the industry, but this is an honest confession of a guy who literally runs one of these and done it for a decade. There's been times when it has been much easier than this, but this pressure never goes away. There's always basically $10,000 to $20,000 every 10, 15 days. You've got to get it. You've got to make it. You've got to be able to maintain that kind of cash flow, even on the smallest of small facilities. So it gets to be, I mean, it's stressful. I'm sure if you look at me on the first episode of this podcast and you look at me now at episode 155, I'm sure that I have wrinkles and gray and shit that I didn't have when I started just 4 or 5 years ago doing this podcast, whatever the fuck it was. But it does weigh on you. I will say that much. But as we get through August through November of 2023, we had to go into a layoff mode. I've never laid off anybody. I've never really fired anybody, to be honest. I've never had to. Everybody who's worked for me, for the most part, has been, a team player from going all the way back. We've had a couple of hired hands come and go that were, living in Denver for a period of time, and they were great help, and then they moved on to do something else with their careers or whatever, or their lives. But really, we've never had many issues at all. But we had to go through a phase of layoffs at this time, or reducing hours, or kind of reducing overhead, trying to trim fat wherever you can. I don't even want to call it fat, because all parts are needed, all parts are necessary. But you're like, all right, what can we do to not make this overhead so stressful at all times? So you just try to reduce, but all that does is increases the amount of work that I need my long-term guys to do. I'm like, oh, I need you to do triple the amount of work in half the time. And, that is not a recipe for success, happy employees, or anything along those lines. And that's kind of the state of America, if you want to call it today. But, yeah, there's one guy doing the job of 3 people because, the layoffs and kind of reducing your overhead put us in that position. But really, it's cause and effect, because if you have an issue in January, February, March, the effect is going to be felt in, August, September, down the line. So that's when it really starts to hurt, when those crops that were expected to be there aren't going to be there. And then all of a sudden you've got to, work your way through this or navigate through that. But, and with layoffs / tighter times and trying to restructure and fix, where you're leaking, there becomes issues, obviously, where I don't want to get into it in great detail, but, we get into a point where basically we're not doing a lot of the things that we were doing. And, or I should say, we're not doing a lot of the hours that we were doing. We're not doing the volume we were doing. We're not even moving product in the state. I mean, we're selling some deli-style bulk pounds that I'm trying to sell off-brand because I don't love it. And I'm selling it for way too fucking cheap because it fits in with all the boof bullshit that's out there right now. And it's not something I'm not proud of or anything that I'm like, this is awesome. But if you got to pay some rent or whatever, you move 10, 20 pounds of something that you don't really love to a shop for way fucking cheap, and you say, hey, I don't really want my logo on it. That happens. That happens all the fucking time. But yeah, we've been in a state of that for a while. But as you slim the waist, then you get disgruntled people. You get, and I haven't really had to experience this too much, but yeah, we have disgruntled people, which most of you know very well. We had some disgruntled people, and then all of a sudden the narking happens, and it's like, holy fuck! I've been through all kinds of shit in my life, But as we get to year end of probably the most hellacious year of my fucking life, now all of a sudden we've got people who think that, there's millions invested truly into like building these companies and building these brands from investors, from people who believe in you to get to these points. And it over a decade of just sweating, toiling, stressing, like trying to make things, giving people opportunities. And this is one thing that I'll say. I always hear this on podcasts. I always keep my mouth shut. I shouldn't say podcast. I hear this everywhere I fucking go. And I'm not saying it's not true, but everybody talks shit on the owner of the business in the industry. They say, that guy's just going to hire you, learn your tech, and fire you and replace you with someone who will do it half the price. And this shit happens all the time. There's asshole owners all the fucking time. But let me tell you my experience as the owner, working with people a lot of times that you bring into the company to do something, give them an opportunity to raise themselves up. Most of the time, those don't work out. Those instances, the same kind of people that immediately want to bitch about, oh, the owners are fucking just want to steal my tech and do this or whatever. It's like, well, what about the guys that come in, fail at their fucking business, and then get shitty when they're told to leave, or it's not working out, or you can't make your payment, or you can't make your rent, or it's not worth it to have me in the building to have you doing this because it's not generating enough profit, or whatever the reason may be, and then your reason or your excuse is to go act like a fucking fool or a bitch, and then try to slander the company on the internet, try to slander the guy who gave you the opportunity, or try to call every fucking ABC department that you can think of that may come in to hassle you. Because I'll tell you right now, we had the fucking fire department coming in, we had the fucking health department coming in, we had the marijuana excise division coming in, which are the cops, we had the criminal division of the marijuana excise division coming in, saying that, all of a sudden it's like, now we have to have everything under a magnifying glass. And I'm looking at these inspector guys going like, are you serious right now? Like, first of all, the complaints were ludicrous in the sense that they were saying, Photoshop license, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I don't have time for this shit. I've been through a long enough fucking year. And for the most part, I've never really had to have disgruntled fucking people. But there's another side of the coin, I guess, that I'm getting at here is like, as an owner, a lot of times, when you give someone an opportunity, who fucking either sucks at their job or can't fucking, stay in that position anymore, or it's not going to work out for the business and it's time to move on or whatever, then try to destroy your business, which is fucking maddening. Because trust me, I've been through it all. Ryan the Kid and fucking, from Caesar to Ryan the Kid to fucking, there's been many people. I've had people call my investors directly and try to tell them that I'm a fucking bitch. And that, I've had people fucking call the cops. That's another cause and effect, is when that everybody in, the investigation world is trying to come down and fucking trap you on something. But yeah, I'll be honest, we are we are a completely compliant company. We don't do fucking shit. Literally, it's run straight. I'm not stupid like that. So it's like, when everyone's trying to come down on your shit or whatever, but I'll be totally honest, I do have like a breeding project going on. Maybe my plant count might be a fucking plant or a couple plants over here or there, or I got a grow house going on over there, or something down over here in a tent over there, or whatever. It's like, now you get really freaked out because you got people calling fucking enforcement divisions and shit, and you're like, what the fuck am I going to do? So we have, we're trying to navigate our clean clones to do some clone orders in this stressful time, but then all of a sudden it's like, oh, cops have been called. So you got to kill everything. There's nothing left. You kill everything. All breeding projects stopped. All clone sales stopped. All fucking anything that you had in the future stopped. The house that you may be working on paying off stopped. Like, you might be halfway through paying that fucking house off, but now you know that the person that has a fucking disgruntled problem with you may want to call the cops at any given point in time, so you can never grow another plant in that house. And say the house is fucking, I don't know, $500,000, you're $250,000 in. What do you do when you're halfway into an owner finance property and you don't feel safe to grow there anymore? It's a real motherfucker of a situation to be in. And then you move it forward. That's in December. So this is our holidays. This is Thanksgiving through Christmas, all that shit. Just fucking daily go to the warehouse, have some fucking guy come flash a badge at you and say he's here to inspect this book, that book. Look at this log. I need to see this. It's like, all right, dude. And at some point, I'd be polite, but I got a little bit annoyed with them and basically told them, like, I've had enough. Because what the fuck, dude? Like, You've now got me in a situation where all I have is a bunch of laid off employees or employees that can only work for me part-time, but yet you want to come in and go through all these books with a fine-tooth comb. And if there's an issue with a metric thing here or there, this person is a criminal investigator here to fuck with somebody. And it's like, oh, by the way, I'm paying these people $20, $22 an hour, $25 an hour, minimum wage $18 an hour. Would you like to have a job at a place where for $20 an hour and you make a mistake at your job, you could potentially be arrested and charged with a misdemeanor because you made a mistake? Or would you rather go down the street to fucking Good Times and get a job for $20 an hour flipping burgers with your thumb up your ass? Like, it's safer at Good Times. So how am I supposed to hire competent, qualified people to know a book of regs this thick, but yet only be allowed to pay or only be able to afford to pay them something like $20, $25 an hour? It doesn't make any fucking sense. So I just get sick of people coming in trying to throw a reg book at me that's this fucking thick, being like, do you guys know this inside and out? And it's like, do you want to kiss my ass? Because literally, yeah, I do know that book inside and out. Do you know it inside and out? Because you don't either. And this is a bunch of bullshit. Like, this is an entirely over-regulated bunch of bullshit. And anyway, we made it through it. I got a $150 fine for having a camera in black and white instead of color that went in black and white for some reason. Fixed it, no problem, $150. So really, that's a big fuck you to the people that think that they're going to trip me up on some shit like that. It's fucking stupid. But that's also the exact same time that I'm trying to throw the 100K Grand Prix, which is something that we've advertised for a year. For a year, trying to throw this event, trying to build it up through a very stressful fucking year. Trying to, escrow that cash, get this event to happen, spend, I'm not going to talk about it too much, but spend, fucking north of 5 figures, like to try to fucking set this whole fucking thing up and rent it all, get it all going, like organize it, only to have the same people that have given you fucking shit before literally coming in and saying that your contest was rigged or the bullshit that, it's like, I'll say this much. I'm happy that the Grand Prix happened. It was incredibly fucking stressful for me to throw an event at that time with the company pretty much fucking coming through something that was devastating financially to the company. And then, oh, by the way, the cops have been called. And then, oh, by the way, throw an event in Las Vegas that's going to cost you fucking 5 figures and give away $11,000 and don't fucking fuck that up. You know what I mean? It's like, so yeah, we were able to get all that done and do all that at the end of the fucking year. And then you slide right into January again, and oh, by the way, here's $20,000 due. Here's the property tax, $18,000 on that. Oh yeah, $50,000 on top of that. So that is 1 year in review of a cannabis guy. And I'll close it with this: as we got to January, is when all of a sudden my Venmo has issues, my PayPal, which I guess had some before, had issues, but then my Stripe or my merchant account, I should say, has issues. My merchant account is lost all of a sudden or closed for basically illegal activities or illegal sales because I sell seeds, which is fucked. But it's no surprise to me that literally every person that could have been called has been called to try to upset, what's going on or the status quo of what we do around here. So yeah, that was a kind of a blow. I haven't really talked about it too much. Obviously, we were off for a whole month, but yeah, the merchant account went down for C Bazaar, and we've since replaced it. Everything's fine, but the members, the private member accounts, that's going to be a major issue because we're not going to be able to essentially transfer the members to a new platform. Everyone's going to have to re-sign up, and I'm going to have to take the members. The whole VIP private area or private membership area, probably this weekend, I'm going to take it down or offline entirely as we switch it over to the new merchant processor. And then all the annual people have to get added back in. And then you'll have to re-sign up, which will be a motherfucker because that's something we built for years. And something I was very proud of building. And now we have to essentially try to get everyone to resub, which will be very hard. But I do have something to announce in that regard too, is I do want to build C Bazaar Premium into something a little bit better. I talk about this a lot, but as a way to kind of entice everybody to truly come back over to, it won't change at all. It's just we have to change processors. So you're gonna have to re-sign up with your credit card information. But to truly have everyone switch over to the new Premium, I wanted to kind of launch it with a series of instructional videos, and we're gonna put some content on Premium that you can't get anywhere else. Except for on the Premium. And I want to do instructional videos for everybody who, buys seeds, buys our products. Anybody who has any interest of growing, we'll probably do a complete start to finish grow on there, but we'll also do mini segments of how to germinate, how to clone, what's the right temperatures, ppms, how to water, how to, if you guys have questions, feel free to put them in the comments, or something you'd like to see an instructional video on as we kind of switch the premium to a whole new payment processor side. And it goes dark for about 2-3 days, and we'll come back online. Some of you emailed and said I can't sign up for premium. That's because it's still attached to the defunct merchant account. So we will get you switched over once we officially switch it all over. But yeah, a real pain in the ass. A real pain in the ass to have your finances attacked and all the rest of, at the end of a basically very, very testing year. But I'll say this much too. I am so fucking proud of my team. So fucking proud of my team. The people who have rallied with me, the people who have helped me through this hard year. Because Dark Horse ain't going fucking nowhere. And we'll be just fucking fine. Again, the hardest year I've ever had running a cannabis business, and I've run cannabis businesses for almost fucking 20 years. But this one was special. This was a special fucked up year where it was like a tester. It was truly a tester. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. Everything that you thought you knew, you had to relearn. And it really, like I say, I'm truly, truly proud of my team. I'm truly, truly proud of, I'll just say it, Colin. I don't know if he wants his last name out there, but Colin's my guy, Ganja Farming on Instagram. Shout out Ganja Farming. Truly helped me a ton this year with, maintaining a positive attitude on getting through this thing. Shout out J-Lo, my girlfriend, but a massive help, massive help. Without J-Lo, we probably would have been sitting there spinning, I know what I would have done. I would have made the wrong decisions. I would have grasped a straw that was probably the wrong direction. I probably would have went the wrong direction trying to fix the problem, spent more money, more headaches, more time, spinning my wheels going the wrong way. And I really appreciate J-Lo coming in and straightening the cart out, if you will, straightening the car out and putting it back on the road, and kind of, really showing us and teaching us a few things that, you think, an old horse doesn't learn new tricks. So this horse learned a lot of fucking new tricks last year. A lot of new tricks last year. Shout out to Daz. Daz helped me a lot last year, a lot. I don't want to get into all of it, but yeah, the Daz was a person that was, instrumental when I needed some help. Daz is totally there to help me. Shout out Ninja and Blue. Those guys were awesome all year. I mean, they always are. But the list goes on. Beyond Hype, Stan the Strain Man was actually really cool after we won, and was able to go out and have lunch with him for the 100K Grand Prix. And he really lifted my spirits this year too. But yeah, there's a reason we kind of took a little bit of a break from Dark Horse Live, because I was just sort of, I don't want to say run down or beat down, but I'm not even depressed. Like I say, I love cannabis. I love my job. I'm a weed man through and through. I ain't going anywhere. This is what I will do until I decide I don't love it anymore. And I absolutely love it. That's the thing. I love it. And the truth about cannabis, I've made a post of this before, but you absolutely got to love it to be in it right now, because it isn't very, it isn't very lucrative. It really is not very lucrative anymore. But I don't give a fuck about that. As long as I can keep a roof over the head, be happy, hit a vacation up every now and then, I'm good. I'm totally good. So, but no, I'm happy with what we have going on at Dark Horse now. I've never been happier. I'm so excited to release what we have coming up. So those that might have heard the start of this podcast and say, what happened to all the Dark Horse flower? I voluntarily pulled it because it didn't meet my fucking standard. It just didn't meet my standard. But wait till you see what the fuck we have now. Because with the help of, many input adjustments and tweaking basically everything, the new product that we have to show you guys is fucking phenomenal. And I can't wait to release it. We basically just sent it off to testing. And as it comes back, we're going to put out a small batch, 7-10 pounds or something like that. We're happy to announce on the old Instagram. I'm going to redo the website. But yeah, we'll tell you where the drop is, Denver, Colorado, or anyone in Colorado. But yeah, you guys really got to check out this new flower, because I'm telling you, I've never worked harder alongside my staff to try to repair something and truly make something special return. The Bruce Banner 5 that we have to put in these, that we're putting out in pre-pack is fucking whew. And I haven't said that in a while. So, and I just feel much more equipped to deal with shit where it's okay, we literally are identifying issues, just spotting them now. Our plant game has gone up tenfold over this year. And what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. That shit is true because we're strong now. We're really strong. And what's coming online is fucking sexy. It's going to be small batch as fuck. I'm not worried about the future of Dark Horse. I'm excited about the future of Dark Horse. I will say this much. Last year was a real life motherfucker. It was a real life motherfucker through and through. And there were points when I was low as shit. I was depressed as shit. I was, like, does this even make sense to kind of do at times? And, fuck, sometimes I think like that even now when we sell a pound off for $600 and it costs me $700 or something to get to market. It's like, what the fuck? Shit happens like that. But at other times it's like you pull a crop that's like special. We just pulled some grape pie and I was like, holy fuck, man. Like, this shit is special. Like, truly special. So I was just like, literally, if this is something that, I don't know, like means something to you like it means something to me, I invite you to check out this cannabis because I truly am proud of it. But with that said, yeah, that's about all I have for the show. Shout out to everybody in Hawaii. It's Hawaii Cannabis Expo. Normally we go to this show every year. It's the best tax write-off in the world. You got to go to Hawaii, chill on the beach, sell some beans, and write off all your expenses. Like, come on, there's no fucking way you don't do that. But yeah, we're coming off the ass end of a horrible fucking year. So as we, circle our wagons and build back up, build our war chest back up, we'll see you in Hawaii next year. I totally look forward to that. But yeah, everybody in Hawaii, shout out Hawaii. I think Ninja's out there, go visit him. But yeah, that's going to be it for the show today. I'm going to shout out Dutch real quick. We have a couple of sponsors, but I didn't write them down, so I'm an asshole. But I do want to shout out Dutch because Dutch is our long-term man, like, of the hour sponsor. He's been with us forever. He's the coolest fucking dude. Dutch Sense or Dutch Sensey, but it's kind of spelled sense. Look him up on Twitch. Look him up on YouTube. My man is an avid cannabis grower, hobbyist breeder, all-around good dude. But more importantly than that, he's like freakishly smart, and he's all about science, investigation science, and more than that, earthquakes. This dude will literally tell you what's going on with earthquakes, where the next big ones are predicted. He kind of reads the Earth's maps and magma flows and shit way above my pay grade. And he can basically, with amazing accuracy, predict what's happening with these earthquakes. He's all about keeping you guys safe and having your bug out bags and, just a really cool dude. And like I say, he's a longtime supporter of this show. We really appreciate Dutch. And Dutch Sensey, Dutch Sense. Follow him on Twitch, which I don't know if it's going now, but it used to be on 24/7. He was on Twitch. He had it streaming on loop. And then on YouTube, massive channel, like 600 subs. Everybody here knows Dutch. But if you don't know who Dutch is, that's why there'll be a whole bunch of people in the comments saying, we love Dutch. Because Dutch is the man. Go watch his channel. For real. You don't think you're going to want to watch Dutch's channel until you watch Dutch's channel and you're like, dude, I'm in a rabbit hole here. Like, this is fucking crazy. And you also wonder, why the fuck would they fuck with Dutch and not allow his channel to go out and fuck with his internet access? And the government has real issues with Dutch. It's crazy because he can accurately predict what's going on. I don't know. I don't want to get into conspiracy shit at the end of this show, but yeah, we love Dutch. Go follow Dutch. And thanks, Dutch, for sponsoring the show once again. And yeah, that's going to do it for Dark Horse Live, episode 155. There's my rant. I didn't look at any of the comments. I'm sure I probably got some of this shit wrong. If I need to make any corrections, I will. But I'm happy to be back, happy to be doing the podcast. We'll probably will bring on a new co-host at some point, but I'm just chilling, taking my time with it. And yeah, maybe we'll try out a few co-hosts, a few guest co-hosts, but we'll just do what feels right. And yeah, I'm going to try to bring it to you guys every week from here forward. So every Wednesday at 7, we'll be back here. And until then, yeah, stay safe, stay cool, everybody. We will catch you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.